Assalamu alaikum. Let's cook. Okay, people, there's a video circulating of a young black woman, a young brown woman, being brutalized by her white friends in a house as she's laying on the bed. Her name is Audrey Masarik. Okay, you've probably seen it. It's kind of buzzing on social media right now. This is a young lady in her early 20s. This took place last year, late last year. She went to a spot with her so-called white friends, got drunk with her white friends, and they started to pound on her for whatever reason, whatever they wanted to get at her about. I don't know the whole backstory. I could just see what happened, and it's really messed up.
I'm really about to kill this bitch. What you gonna do? No, where can we hide the body at? That ass on slow. What is you finna do?
Oh my god, Abraham.
You trying to leave this house, bitch, and I'm gonna drag you by your fucking hair, bitch. Audrey, talk all that shit that you was talking over the phone. Talk it out. Talk it now. Fuck. Bitch, shut up. Shut the fuck up. No, cause this bitch, I want her to fight. I want her to fight. Bitch, shut your mouth. Shut up.
Looked to me like they was really trying to hurt her. She couldn't fight back. And listen to this guy right here. This guy right here, Secret Service Sam, right? And he's going to read a statement that she made in response to that beating. And she explains what went on.
Sam here with an update on the woman who was getting beat up by the three white girls in the bedroom. Her name is Audrey Masarik. She says, "Hey everyone, I'm Audrey. I'm the girl who got beat. I am doing okay now. I did get rushed to the hospital after that incident with a blood alcohol level of 3 times the legal limit. Police, in fact, did show up to that apartment. Police did, in fact, show up to that apartment. I guess when I got stable in the hospital, the nurses said I went to Riley's neighbor at her apartment and knocked, and the neighbors called the ambulance. I had a swollen eye. I had a scrape on my face. I had a goose egg on my side of my head. I had rug marks on my waist from when they dragged me upstairs. I do have epilepsy, so that amount of alcohol could have been fatal, or I could have had a stroke. I did have a seizure in the hospital from being hit in my head. I suffered mentally, physically, and emotionally that night. They know how I am on alcohol. They know my body don't do well with alcohol, which is why they waited for me to be completely intoxicated before they attacked me. But overall, I'm doing okay. A day after that incident, I did take a pregnancy test, which came up positive. I did, in fact, welcome a baby girl 2 weeks ago, and she has changed my life and the way I go about things. I no longer drink. My baby saved me from self-destruction, and I am speaking to my counselor tomorrow to hopefully help me pursue charges, because they did almost take my life that day. I was completely almost unconscious, the nurses told my grandma. I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed I let myself get to that point, but I completely changed and am no longer speaking to them. The day I speak to their faces will be in court. That incident happened back in November, and because I didn't remember the fight, I didn't pursue with charges because it would have been hard to get them in trouble if I couldn't remember anything. But with the video, I have all the proof I need, and my counselor said even though it was 9 months ago, I could still carry out with getting them to be held accountable, so that is what I'm definitely going to do. Audrey, we are so glad to hear that you're doing okay, and I think there's a very brave admission that you make here. A lot of us suffer from alcohol or drug problems, but the important part is you found your way and you got sober. Congratulations on your beauty.
Yeah, that's that guy, Secret Service Sam, right there. He does a lot of this. He covers a lot of these type incidents. I didn't want to show his face or give him too much, you know, because I already got black people calling him Uncle Sam and stuff. I'm like, here we go. Here we go. But anyway, I'm glad that this young lady, Audrey, is okay. She had her baby. Her baby is okay, alhamdulillah. She said that she made some wrong decisions. She changed some things in her life, which is all good. She said she doesn't drink anymore, stuff like that, which is good. But people, one thing you're not going to hear her say, Audrey, Masarik is not going to say, I'm not going to be around these white people anymore, okay? Here's the thing, people. Audrey here, she's biracial, okay? She's biracial, and I don't think that Audrey even has a concept of being a black person in America. It's not her fault. She's biracial, she's still young, and the man who took care of her grandfather, is a white man. He passed away in like the year 2021 or something like that, a few years ago. She speaks highly of this man. She loves this man. And big up to him, you know what I mean, for doing the right thing with this child. I don't know where her black parent is, the one black parent she has, or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? But there are no black people on this young lady's social media whatsoever. None. Okay? All just white, and she speaks highly of this grandfather right here. Okay, so this girl Audrey was born into a situation out of her control. It's not her fault that she's biracial. It's not her fault that she was raised in an all-white town. You know, I don't think she has any concept of being a black person in America. And you know, biracials have it rough, man. To be honest with you, yo. I mean, I meet a lot of biracials. Once they are, I've met, I can't say a lot. I've met and grown to understand some biracials as they are adults. A lot of them tend to be deceptive, in my opinion. Most of them that I met tend to be pretty deceptive, real fake, like to latch on to the whole part of being black for the good things about being black. But, you know, I don't want to get too much into that, because that will go on. And I know that there are people who are biracial that aren't like that. I'm talking about the ones that I've met in certain environments, you know what I'm saying? So that was just my experience. But one thing about this situation with this young lady, Audrey, the white people are her people, you know? And I tell you what, biracials catch hell. Biracials catch hell coming up, man. We catch hell being black, period. Just being black and going outside in school and things like that or whatever. But when you got to go home with a white person every day, and you have a racist, a white supremacist who really don't like black people, and who you remind them of, you know what I mean, somebody that they may not like, man, they catch hell, man.
As a biracial black person, stop reproducing with white people. Stop reproducing with white people. Stop, 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 stop. If they have not read even one black liberation book, stop reproducing with they ass. Y'all literally pick the worst type of white people to reproduce with. Y'all literally pick the ones that sit there talking about, well, white people went through slavery
Mixed
too.
people, including me, have white mothers who do not talk about their blackness during their childhood.
White moms or non-black moms can't show you a perspective like how black moms can. And that's not their fault. But we have to find that perspective on our own.
Mixed children who have white mothers tend to be more exposed to internalized racism and colorism because of the lack of intersectionality among white feminists.
She was like, yeah, children with white moms tend to be a little anti-black. And I was like, shoot, I got a white mom. I will admit that there was some definite anti-blackness like stuff when I lived with my white mom.
And my grandmother sees my brother's shirt, and he's wearing a shirt that looks just like this with Malcolm X and the rifle. And my grandma's like, really? Malcolm X with a gun? So violent.
You live in a predominantly white area in a country that's controlled by whiteness. The information that you receive about black people from society is all just stereotypes. This is what can cause them to begin to see their blackness in a negative light.
Look, man, we may deal with a Karen in a supermarket or a parking lot or a park or something like that at work. Imagine waking up to a Karen every day, dealing with a Karen in a house, and you have a whole black parent, you know what I mean? But you in a house with a Karen or a Becky, you know what I mean? Somebody who may hate black people, just wanted to do something with a black man or whatever, or vice versa. So listen, there's a lot of outrage from black people due to this video with Audrey Masarik, and I get it, it should be, but I don't even think Audrey Masarik would even know how to process it. I'm serious, I don't think she has any concept of being black, you know what I mean? Those are her friends. She drank alcohol, they rocked her to sleep, she went over there because these are her friends, and they beat the brakes off of her. Thankfully she made it out all right. And for her, there's really not an alternative. She's born into that. She literally would have had to leave and go to like a HBCU or something like that. This is Audrey's community. White people. You know what I mean? Again, I didn't see one black or even brown person on her social media. So I have no idea about her family dynamic and all that other stuff. But look, man, there are people who are black, raised in the black community, have black people who did everything for them in their lives. Some of these people have no concept of being a black person in America except entertainment and being harassed by the cops. That's it. There are a lot of black people who who we all know, and you could just think, if you took rap music and football away or basketball and sports, they would pretty much be a brown cracker. I mean, a Negro peeing to the core, just a brown cracker. Like they have no concept of who they are, their people, their history, or what's going on at that specific point in their life, because people can always learn and change. You know what I mean? So imagine somebody who's born in the white community. White people cared for them, And of course, yes, this Audrey Masarik, she's putting up with racial abuse her whole life. She can't even identify it. There's no clue. That butt whooping right there, in her mind, that may not have even been racially motivated. You know what I'm saying? Those are her people. So look, man, I don't know, man. At this point in her life, I just don't think she gets it. Maybe she will one day. She's not a biracial person where she's not Michi X. You get what I'm saying? Whether you like Michi X's work or not, we know that Michi X is black. She says that she's black, and I get it. After listening to her years ago and for a while, okay, yeah, this is a biracial black person right here, or whatever, you know what I mean? But many biracials don't want to be black, and why? You know what I mean? It's easier being white. A lot of them spend a lot of time just wishing that they could just be all white. I mean, being white in America is the path of least resistance. So they probably thinking like, dang, I'm only half of it, but I'm just an N-word. You know what I'm saying? They can't be white. White people don't play that. White people would never let biracial be. They are the N-word. When white folks need to let out their racial frustrations, their hate, based off of what they see in the world, they go right to that biracial, that one person, that token black friend. That's what they're there for. They air out their frustrations. And a lot of times these people, they become so used to it that it's not even abuse to them anymore. You know what I mean? So that's how it goes. Something else that I'm seeing with this Audrey Masarik situation. People, for black people, it's no reason to make stuff up, man. You don't have to make these big headlines and false stories and stuff like that up just to get likes or views or make it, appear to be more severe than it is. There's no reason for black people to have to blow up things or blow up stories to make it seem like it's bad when it comes to racism. The reality is worse than the horror movie for black people when it comes to racism and white supremacy. We don't have to make nothing up. I'm seeing stories, things like, they kidnapped her, they drugged her, and all this other wild stuff. Stay on the truth, yo. You know what I mean? That's not what happened. Nobody kidnapped her. Nobody drugged her. They did her dirty. But if you tell the truth, somebody can learn from this story. She went over there willingly. She always did. Those are her friends. They rocked her to sleep and they beat her down, knowing that she had conditions where she could actually die. They didn't care. There's no need to make up a story to prove some kind of point that people are racist. The reality is worse than a horror movie when it comes to black people. We don't have to make nothing up. We got realistic horror movies, So it's no need for that, because somebody could see them type of situations and they could look at it like, oh, well, look, they kidnapped her. Like they threw her in a Sprinter, put a sack over her head and threw her in a Sprinter van type stuff. No, that's not what happened. Keep it 100. She went over there with her people, and that's what they did, and that's what could happen to you if you don't understand who you are, who your people are, where you come from, regardless of the situation and how you was raised. Because look, people don't care that Audrey Masarik was raised with white people. All they see is you ain't white, and I'm sure she's been abused her whole life. That might not have been her first whooping. You know, who knows? Probably the first one on video. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But anyway, people, link in the description. Masterpiece, the N-word is no secret in the service. Also, link to the email list. Go ahead and get on that just in case YouTube start YouTubing. Easy.